Don't come to the party. You'll only bring tension, my family said. So, I stopped covering their bills. Now they're couch surfing and still blaming me. Hey, Reddit, buckle up because this one's a mess. For 2 years, I, Benita, 35, quietly paid my parents' mortgage and utilities, over $6,000 a year. Why? Because my golden boy brother Rob, 31, blew through their savings chasing crypto fantasies and they couldn't manage. No thanks, no appreciation, just silence. Then one day, my dad calls and tells me not to come to his retirement party. Said it's better for Rob's mental health, like I was the problem. So I stopped paying, didn't yell, didn't warn them, just let the bills hit. Now they're freezing, broke, and mad at me. So, you ever get that feeling like something's off, but you can't tell if it's just your brain being weird or if people really are being shady? That was me 2 weeks before Dad's retirement party. Whole family was buzzing about it. Group chats were dinging nonstop, and I was like, cool, can't wait. Until I realized I was never actually invited. Yeah, no address, no time, no bring your famous ribs, nothing. I figured maybe they were just being last minute like always. My family couldn't organize a sock drawer without turning it into a drama. But then my cousin Kyle asked if I was going to give the speech since I'm still paying the bills, and I froze. Speech? What speech? He goes, the one at the party? You're going, right? I laughed, like really laughed, and said, guess not. So I called my dad later that night, straight up, no fluff. Hey, so am I coming to this retirement thing or nah? And this man had the audacity to sigh like I just asked him to fix a printer. Benita, maybe it's better if you sit this one out. I swear I heard my own brain short circuit. Sit what out? He goes, it's just, Rob's been on edge lately. He's really trying to get his life back on track. It's his idea, not mine. He just wants the event to go smoothly. No stress, no tension. You understand? I had to mute myself so I didn't start yelling into the phone like a cartoon character. I came back with, you're telling me I've been making your mortgage payments for 2 years, and I can't come to a party you're throwing with my money? Silence. Then, Benita, don't make this about money. Don't make this about money, my man. I've been busting my back at a warehouse since 2021. Cold shifts, stiff joints, waking up at 4:30 a.m. so these people could keep their precious house after Rob's brilliant crypto launch turned into a flaming bag of garbage. Quick recap, Rob, the golden boy, the self-proclaimed financial disruptor, started some crypto thing called BitGlide or CoinRise or some nonsense. He convinced mom and dad to put most of their savings into it, then somehow also convinced them to take out a second mortgage. He printed off charts, wore suits to dinner, even had a whiteboard in the living room with stuff like liquidity flow and NFT futures. Nobody knew what the hell it meant, but they clapped like he was Steve Jobs. 3 months later, poof, gone, all of it. Dude had one bad token dump and everything unraveled, said the market betrayed him. Bro, it's not a person, you just suck. Anyway, I didn't say anything back then. I just stepped in because I'm the one who always does. I saw the mortgage payment was months behind. Mom crying over bills, and I thought, fine, I'll do it. Quietly, no applause needed. I took over the monthly payments and even covered the damn internet so Rob could keep pretending to network with investors. And now I'm too much of a trigger to attend a party in a house I basically financed. All right, bet. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just ended the call with, sure, enjoy your stress-free party. Then I opened my banking app and looked at the scheduled mortgage auto payments. $1,100 a month, 24 months. That's nearly $29,000 total. And I was still living in a tiny apartment where my heater makes that sad humming noise like it's begging for retirement too. So yeah, I hit cancel recurring just like that. Little blue button, no fanfare, and I smiled. That night I couldn't sleep though. Not because I was angry. I mean, yeah, I was pissed. But it was more like this weird weight lifting off me, like I'd been wearing a backpack full of rocks for 2 years. And someone finally said, you know, you can take that off, right? I kept imagining the look on Rob's face when the mortgage notice comes in. First it'll be confusion, then panic. Then, of course, he'll blame the system, then me. Next morning I went to work. Same warehouse, same stacked pallets, same back pain. But this time, I didn't feel like I was just surviving. I felt like I had finally clocked into my own damn life again. I didn't tell anyone, not yet. I wanted to see how long it would take for them to notice. I knew the due date was in a week. After that, things would start spiraling. Meanwhile, the group chat was still popping. Pictures of party supplies, the food, Rob's big surprise for Dad. Everyone dropping emojis and so excited messages. I left the chat, no warning, just poof. Nobody noticed. That was probably the part that stung more than I expected, but whatever. They'd notice soon enough. And they did. Not with a bang, not with anyone falling to their knees screaming, "Why, Benita? Why?" Nah, just a voicemail. First one came 4 days later. Mom. Her concerned but not too concerned voice. The kind she used when the cable got shut off once and she wanted to blame the company, not the unpaid bill. "Hi, sweetie. Just wondering if you could check the house account. We got a weird envelope in the mail. No rush. No rush." "Sure, Mom. Take your time. Wouldn't want your dream party weekend to get interrupted by, I don't know, reality." I didn't call her back. 2 days after that, Dad tried. "Benita got a notice from the bank. Says the payment didn't go through. Thought you might have changed cards or something. Let us know." I didn't. Then Rob finally dropped in with a text. "Hey, Dad's freaking out. Can you just sort it? We're so close to the party, man. Not the time for drama." The nerve. He says it like I'm the one bringing drama, not the dude who cut me out of a party being thrown with the help of my bank account for 2 straight years. At that point, I wasn't even angry anymore. I was detached. Like the kind of calm where you know the storm's coming, but you already boarded up your windows, made soup, and turned the phone on silent. What I did do, though, was check my inbox, the one I used for billing stuff. I figured the mortgage company might have sent something over now that no one paid. They had, not just a late notice either, a nice little warning about additional fees. If the balance wasn't settled by the 15th, interest would stack, credit penalties would hit, a familiar chain of doom. If you've ever missed a payment before, you know the vibe. I read it over twice just to confirm what I already knew. I wasn't listed on the loan, not anywhere, no cosigner, no legal responsibility, no ties. I had set up bill pay through my own account and left it at that. It was their mortgage. They were the names on paper. I was just the human ATM in the background. Perfect, because now they were on their own. Still, I figured I'd get blamed eventually. That's usually how this goes. Something breaks. Rob blames me. Mom says, "Don't argue." Dad acts like I'm ungrateful for not liking being thrown under the bus. So, I took the mature route. I opened a blank document and started dropping in screenshots. Not a manifesto, just receipts, payments, dates, notes, every time I bailed them out. No color commentary, no sarcasm, just numbers. A little file I'd have ready for whenever someone decided to act confused about how this all happened. Then Olivia called. She's my cousin, only person in that family who hasn't either ignored me, talked down to me, or tried to drag me into Rob's projects. She's blunt, smart, doesn't play games. "Hey, you going to the party?" I snorted. "Didn't you hear? I'm too stressful to invite." She laughed. That's what I figured. But Mom said something about the mortgage, like Rob mentioned you might have dropped the ball or something. And there it was, the opening line to their favorite script. "Let's twist the truth before Benita can speak." I told her straight. I didn't drop anything. I just stopped carrying it. Big difference. Silence for a second. Then she muttered, "Damn." "Yeah, and now it's due and no one has a clue how to deal with it." She asked if I needed anything. I told her I was fine. Just watching the machine start to smoke after I walked away from the controls. The next day I got another voicemail. This one more urgent. "Benita, we really need to talk. It's not a good time to play games. You know what's at stake." No names, no thank yous, no "sorry we shut you out of the one thing you've literally paid for." Just guilt. I didn't call back, but I did forward the mortgage notice to Mom's email with 2 words. I'd handle it. No subject, no explanation. The party was only a few days out by then. I could picture them trying to decorate, put up balloons, cater something, all while pretending their house wasn't slowly being swallowed by debt. Rob probably still thought he could fix it with charm. The guy could sell sand in a desert when he wanted to, but charm doesn't pay missed mortgages. Not when the bank's automated system doesn't give a damn how soothing your voice is. That night, I made a cup of tea, tossed a blanket over my couch, and scrolled through used pickup trucks on my phone. Something modest, just in case I felt like, starting my own life. Because for once, I wasn't fixing anything. Let them feel the draft. That's where I left it. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist? Cool, I'd go full ghost. My conscience was clean, my inbox quiet, my apartment warm, and the mortgage still unpaid. A few days passed without much noise. I figured they were probably scrambling, making late-night phone calls to banks, hoping the money fairy would bail them out. Olivia sent me a one-liner on Tuesday. Mom said, "Your name came up. Rob's sweating." I didn't ask for details. I didn't need to. But then Wednesday morning hit. I was halfway through my second cup of coffee, scrolling through old truck listings when I got a weird notification from my bank app. Unrecognized login attempt. Two-factor authentication required. I blinked. My main account was secure, but the alert was tied to an older linked savings account. You know the kind of account you open because your family insists on having an emergency backup in case something happens? That one. It only had a few hundred in it, and I honestly forgot it was even active. I'd left it connected to my online banking because I never imagined I'd need to babysit it. I checked the login. Device unknown. Location, suburb, 20 minutes from me. Wi-Fi, home network, Daniels, family number. Freaking way. I froze for a second, then laughed. Like a dry little wheeze came out of me. I didn't even want to believe it at first, but it was right there. IP matched their house. And not long after that, another ping hit. Transfer request, $1,026, pending fraud review. I sat back in the chair. So that's what we're doing now, skipping the part where you ask and just helping yourself? I screenshotted everything. Login attempt, IP trace, transfer request, fraud alert notice. I didn't panic. I didn't even get angry. I just started organizing the folder I'd already been building with receipts from the last 2 years and added a new one. Unauthorized access. I called the bank next. They flagged the transfer instantly and locked the account. The rep on the phone asked if I wanted to press charges. I told them not yet, but I wanted a formal record of it tied to their address. Then I texted them. Just got an alert. Someone from your Wi-Fi tried to pull money from my account. Next time I report it as theft, party or not. 5 minutes later, Mom called. I didn't answer. Then a text. Honey, we were only trying to move things temporarily. You'd get it right back. 10 minutes after that, Rob, of course. Dude, chill. We were going to fix it after the party. It's not a big deal. Oh, it wasn't a big deal? Trying to sneak $10,200 from my account while pretending I'm too disruptive to attend a party paid for by the very mortgage I used to cover? And isn't a big deal? I sent him a screenshot of the fraud alert. Say that again, I dare you. That's when the calls started coming fast. Dad, then Mom, then even a weird number I didn't recognize, probably some cousin trying to mediate the situation. I ignored them all. I was done talking. They knew what they did. They didn't get to pretend it was some clerical error. It was intentional, planned, stupid. Then Olivia called. She didn't say hi. They really tried to take your money. Yep. And now they're freaking out. Oh yeah. Can I post it? I snorted. Don't get me in trouble. Too late, she said, already typing. She didn't post it publicly, but the screenshots made it into the extended family group. Not the main chat. The one for everyone else where the drama actually lives. The one Rob's not in because he doesn't vibe with negativity. By the next morning, I had 3 texts from relatives I hadn't talked to in over a year. All variations of, I had no idea, and that's messed up. What killed me wasn't even the money. It was the entitlement. They really thought I wouldn't notice, or worse, that I'd notice and just shrug it off like I'm some kind of programmable ATM with no memory, no boundaries, and no spine. They didn't want my presence at the party, but my paycheck, that was still invited to the dance. At work, I barely spoke that day, just loaded pallets and let my mind run. Thought about how long I'd been cleaning up after Rob, covering for his screw-ups, watching him get praise for trying, while I was treated like the family IT girl with a good credit score. Not anymore. I took my lunch break alone, sat in the truck, pulled up the dock again, the one with every payment I'd made, every sacrifice, every late-night shift I picked up so they wouldn't lose the house. Then I opened a new document. This one was titled, Do Not Contact Me Unless It's an Apology or a Wire Transfer. I didn't send it, not yet. But I would. Let's see if they try me again. I wasn't at the party, but somehow I still managed to be the main event. The day started quiet. Too quiet for once. No guilt trip calls, no half-baked apologies, no passive-aggressive nonsense. Just birds chirping outside my window and leftover ribs heating up in the oven. It almost felt peaceful. Then Olivia called. They're starting, she said, chewing on something. Buffet setup looks expensive. You paid for that too, technically. I chuckled. Anything good? Honestly, the shrimp smells weird. Rob's already sweating and your dad's trying to act like nothing's wrong. It's delicious. I let her talk while I flipped my ribs and grabbed a paper plate. I didn't need to see it. I could picture everything. The fake smiles, the forced laughter, Rob playing host while quietly hoping no one mentioned the house. Olivia gave me live updates, and honestly, I didn't even ask. She just kept dropping little things while I sat on my patio, enjoying the warm weather and my own company. Then something actually interesting happened. Apparently, my cousin Kyle made a toast. Now, Kyle's not subtle. He's the guy who once gave a wedding speech that started with, "I didn't think this would last, but here we are." So yeah, not the best with filters. I guess he stood up, raised his glass, and casually said, "And to the man of the hour, and to Benita, who paid for the air conditioning we're all enjoying today." Dead silence. Olivia didn't even need to describe the room. I could feel it through the phone, that moment where everyone's eyes dart around like they heard something they weren't supposed to. Rob apparently froze mid-bite, and Dad's expression dropped like he got caught with his hand in the church offering plate. That's when I decided to give them something to really talk about. I had a PDF saved. Nothing dramatic, just 2 years' worth of mortgage payments documented in boring spreadsheet glory. I'd built it weeks ago. Every payment, every date, every note, plain and undeniable. I sent it straight to the family email thread. Not a message, not a rant, just the document. Titled, "Who Paid for the House?" 10 minutes later, my phone started ringing. First it was Dad, declined. Then Mom, declined. Then a number I didn't recognize, probably Rob borrowing someone's phone, also declined. They could stew in it. What I didn't expect was what came next. One of my aunts, the dramatic one who wears sunglasses indoors, stood up after reading it and asked out loud, "Addie So-My-So, is this real?" No one answered. Not Rob, not my parents, not a single soul in that overpriced, balloon-cluttered living room. Then, without another word, she grabbed her purse, took a to-go plate of salmon puffs, and walked out. Just like that. The party cracked. People didn't leave all at once, but it was obvious. They stopped smiling. Conversations died. Plates went unfinished. Apparently, Rob tried to salvage it with a speech. Something about family not bringing private things into public. But by then, nobody cared. They were too busy trying not to make eye contact. Back at my place, I was still eating. I had the game on in the background, my phone buzzing every 10 seconds with missed calls, voicemails, and one email from Mom with the subject line, "This wasn't fair to do today." You know what else wasn't fair? Being erased from your own family while your paycheck kept the lights on. What killed me wasn't just that they threw a party without me. It was that they knew I'd been carrying them for 2 years and still thought it was okay to leave me out, like I was some grumpy aunt who doesn't RSVP. They wanted the money, not the woman. But now they had neither. Olivia called again as she was leaving. I put her on speaker. "Well, that was fun," she said. "Your mom cried. Rob tried to defend himself, but it was embarrassing. Someone asked him why he needed so much peace if he wasn't paying rent." I laughed. "Did Dad say anything?" "He said you're making a scene and destroying the family." "Cool. Maybe he can get a loan from the shrimp lady." She cackled. I didn't say much after that. I didn't need to. Everything that needed saying had been spelled out in 28 rows of transactions and one very simple title. No drama, no yelling, just the truth, laid bare. The best part? I didn't raise my voice. I didn't show up. I didn't even need to defend myself. They did all the damage on their own. I muted the family email thread, shut off the ringer, took my plate inside. The party was over. Not just the one in their living room. The one where I played the invisible backbone of a family that only noticed me when it was convenient. I ended it without ever stepping foot near their house. No yelling, no threats, just facts. Cold ones, no seasoning. And for a few days, it stayed quiet. A weird kind of quiet. Not peaceful exactly, but hollow, like the air after a storm when everything's still wet and broken, but at least it stopped raining. I expected the aftermath to be messy. Maybe some screaming, some frantic apologies, one of those, "we didn't mean it," phone calls. But there was nothing. No contact, no follow-ups, just silence. I figured they were licking their wounds or rewriting the narrative in their heads. Whatever. I was busy pretending I didn't exist in their world anymore. Turns out pretending is a two-way street. The next week I got mail, a fat envelope, full legal name printed on the label. No return address I recognized. I opened it slow, just in case. You get enough unpaid overtime and ignored voicemails from your parents, and you start treating physical mail like it might explode. Inside, a letter and a stack of documents. Bold text on the top page. A deed transfer notification. Partial ownership acknowledgement. I blinked, read it again. Then I just laughed. Loud. The kind of laugh that starts in your chest and rolls out of your mouth like, "You've got to be kidding me." They did it. They actually did it. My parents had filed a partial property transfer assigning me as a co-owner of the house. The one they told me not to come to. The one they tried to steal money from. The one I stopped paying for 2 chapters ago. There was a cover note from the notary's office, something along the lines of, "As requested, this filing confirms shared ownership of the following residence with named party Benita Daniels, assuming equal claim and interest." I stopped reading. Equal interest in what? The past due bills? They didn't even have the guts to tell me. Just filed it and mailed the paperwork. No call, no warning, not even a fake courtesy message like, "Hey, Benita, quick heads up. We made you responsible for a crumbling house we're still too entitled to maintain." Nah, just slap my name on the legal docs like I'm the family mascot they can haul out when the furnace breaks. And that's when the second envelope arrived. This one was smaller, from the county tax assessor. I opened it, already guessing where it was going. And sure enough, there it was. Notice of property tax responsibility, Benita Daniels. They triggered a change in ownership filing that flagged my name with the county office, which meant starting next cycle, I'd get tax notifications too. All because my parents wanted to make me legally attached to the sinking ship they were too proud to sell and too broke to save. I sat there at the kitchen table, the whole stack of papers spread out like a crime scene, and I just muttered, "They really did it." I wasn't even angry in that moment. I was stunned. The level of shamelessness, Olympic tier. I took photos of everything, scanned the letters, then I called Olivia. She answered like she was mid-coffee. "Yo, you're not going to believe what just showed up." "Oh God, what now?" "They transferred the house into my name, like, legally, county level, didn't even ask." She went silent. I heard her exhale, then mumble, "You've got to be kidding me." "I wish." "You're kidding." "Wish." She cursed, hard. After I laid it all out, she just said what I was already thinking. "They're trying to rope you back in. This is just another way to force you to start paying again. If it's yours, you'll feel responsible." Exactly. That was the trick. They wanted the guilt to do what gratitude never did. I didn't respond to them right away. Not that day. Not even the next. I wanted it to marinate. Let them sit there and wait for my reaction. Let the silence build until it felt like a bomb in their lap. And then once I was calm, I took the documents, walked into the local title office, and scheduled a legal dispute of the ownership filing. The clerk was helpful, said it wasn't super common, but definitely not unheard of. Family doing surprise transfers to dump taxes or debt. He helped me file the proper reversal paperwork and a formal cease and desist request. No threats, no drama, just a notarized message that said, "I did not consent to this transfer. I have not agreed to shared ownership of this property, and I will not be responsible for its maintenance, taxes, debts, or legal obligations. This was filed without my knowledge. Revoke it." Signed, sealed, done. Then I called the mortgage company, not to fight, just to make sure they still knew where I stood. Told them I was never a borrower, never legally tied, and if anyone tried to pin me again, I'd have formal documentation ready to push back. By Friday, I sent my parents a single email. No emotion, just facts. And in subject, remove me. Body. I received the property transfer paperwork. I did not authorize it. I am filing reversal documentation. Any future attempts to assign me ownership or payment responsibility will be treated as legal harassment. Do not involve me again. Anna Benita. That night, Mom called. I didn't answer. Dad called. Blocked. Rob tried through some shared contact, but it didn't matter. They couldn't undo what they'd shown me. It wasn't enough that I paid. It wasn't enough that I kept them afloat. They still wanted to find a way to keep me tethered, even if it meant doing it behind my back, in paperwork. They could keep the house. They earned the rot, and they were finally starting to smell it. I knew the second envelope was coming before I even saw it. You don't skip 2 mortgage payments and file fake deed paperwork without consequences eventually knocking. This time, though, it wasn't sent to their address. It landed in my mailbox because I used to handle the bills through my online account, and apparently someone at the mortgage company hadn't scrubbed me off the backup contact list. I tore it open, scanned the heading, and exhaled through my nose. A notice of intent to foreclose. 2 bold pages. Unpaid balance. Fees stacking. Deadline outlined in red. Final warning. I tossed it on the table, didn't even sit down to read the rest. I'd already seen this movie, and I knew how it ended. Still, I stared at the document for a second too long. Not out of guilt. Just baffled at how we even got here. I saved them from this exact thing for 2 years. 2 years. And the second I stopped, they went full kamikaze into the same hole. Only this time they tried to drag me in legally. I thought that was the climax. But nope. That was just the pre-show. The real show came 2 days later. I got home from work, boots still muddy, hands raw from unloading a freight shipment, and found her standing at my door. My mom, holding a plastic container of what looked like half-baked lemon bars and a jacket way too thin for the weather. I opened the door just enough to block it with my boot and leaned on the frame. "Benita," she said, smiling like we were at a church picnic. I stared. "How'd you get my address?" "We've always had it, sweetie. Don't be like that." I didn't move. She raised the container. "I made your favorite. I thought we could talk." "You brought lemon bars to a foreclosure." Her smile faltered. "We're not being foreclosed," she said quickly. How? Too quickly. "It's just a formality. They send those letters to scare you." "Sure. Can I come in?" "No." There was a long, uncomfortable pause. She adjusted the tray in her hands, like she expected me to reach out and take it. I didn't. She cleared her throat. "Your dad's been really stressed. This whole thing with the house, it's just gotten out of control." "You mean after you tried to sneak my name onto it?" She blinked like I'd cursed at her. "We were trying to keep it in the family," she said. And I swear, she believed it. "You paid for so long, it just felt right." "Without telling me?" "You weren't returning calls." I stared. "So your plan was to legally attach me to your debt without asking and then hope I'd be flattered?" She looked genuinely confused that I didn't see it that way. "We thought maybe you'd feel like it was yours. I mean, it is yours, right? You paid for it." I actually laughed, a real sharp breath out of disbelief. "Yeah, paid. Not inherited, not volunteered. Paid. Because your other son tanked your savings on crypto and you were about to lose the house." She didn't argue. She just kept holding those lemon bars like they'd fix everything. "Rob's in a really bad place right now," she said finally, soft and sad. "He's been trying, but he feels like you've been targeting him." "He feels like that." She nodded. "This whole thing with the party and the messages going around. You embarrassed him, and your father too. You could have just talked to us." "You mean before or after the forgery?" "Benita, please don't say it like that. No one forged anything." "You submitted ownership paperwork with my name on it, without my consent. That's not a family favor. That's a counted lawsuit." She sighed, like I was the unreasonable one. "You're being so dramatic." I stepped back a little, just enough to close the gap in the door, but still kept it open a crack. "You came here to ask me to fix this, didn't you? We just need a little help getting current. We'll take over after. We promise." "No." "But—" "No," I said again, louder this time. "I'm not bailing you out. Not again. You had your shot." She blinked fast, like she was trying to summon tears. "Your father can't work like he used to," she whispered. "His pressure's been high. He hasn't been sleeping. Rob's having breakdowns. We don't know what to do." "You figure it out," I said. "Just like I had to, for 2 years. Without lemon bars." She finally dropped the act. Her shoulders stiffened. Her voice rose. "We didn't ask you to take over. You damn volunteered. Don't throw it in our faces now. You act like you were some kind of hero. You were just helping. Families help each other." I raised an eyebrow. Funny how that rule only applies when you need something. Her face twisted like I'd slapped her. "We were going to give you the house eventually. That's what the transfer was about. Securing your future." "No," I snapped. "That was about making your problem my responsibility again. Without asking. Without earning it. And you thought if you wrapped it in legalese and lemon bars, I'd just roll over." She said nothing. "You said I wasn't welcome at the party. That I caused too much tension. And now suddenly I'm good enough to own the roof?" Still nothing. I exhaled. "Go home, Mom, whatever's left of it." She left the lemon bars on the doormat, like that was going to change anything, and walked off in silence. I didn't pick them up. The next day I got an email from Dad. Long, dramatic, paragraph after paragraph of thinly veiled guilt. "We're a family, Benita. Mistakes were made, but you're not perfect either. Your coldness hurts more than you know. You weren't raised this way. You used to be more understanding. Rob's in a dark place. We're all hurting. Step up." No apology, no accountability. Just projection dressed up like concern. I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded it to Olivia. Subject line: "Family means guilt." Apparently, she just replied, "These people are insane." That night, she called me while I was folding laundry. They listed the house on Marketplace, she said casually. I paused. What? Yep, Rob's trying to rent it out. Says it's a great opportunity for young professionals, while it's mid-foreclosure. I blinked. That's illegal. She laughed. Yep. Someone messaged him about a walkthrough, and he said the co-owner would handle it. She didn't even have to say it. I groaned. Guess he missed the part where I legally unowned the whole damn thing. I don't think they're going to stop until the sheriff changes the locks, Olivia said. I didn't even have the energy to react. They were still using my name, still trying to squeeze one last drop out of me before it all came crashing down. They wanted the house. They could live in it till the walls caved in. But name my name. It wasn't part of it anymore. The house, the drama, the wait, whatever that place used to be, the Sunday dinners, the worn-in furniture, the sound of Dad's boots on the porch. All of it had been swapped out for lies, debt, and that pathetic transfer stunt. I stopped mourning it the second they tried to chain me back to their mess with legal paperwork and lemon bars. A week later, the foreclosure went public. I didn't find out from them. Olivia sent me the link, a bank auction listing. It had 4 photos, none recent, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Needs repair. Starting bid, humiliatingly low. She just texted, they lost it. I nodded to myself and closed the browser. Later that same day, I walked into a used pickup lot and bought myself a decent truck, paid in full, title in hand, all with money I would have thrown down the drain for another mortgage payment last year. Funny how fast things grow when you're not carrying everyone else's baggage. Meanwhile, Olivia kept me updated like a sports commentator. Mom was in a motel out by the freeway, talking everyone's ear off about how I betrayed the family. Said she was sharing a room with Rob, while Dad stayed with a cousin 2 hours away. They couldn't afford even a 1-bedroom between them. No more family home, no Golden Sun crypto empire, no backup plan. They were scattered, cold, broke. I wasn't even mad, just numb. Then on a Tuesday, Dad showed up outside my job. He waited by the exit, arms crossed, wearing that same old scowl he used to give me when I came home late from high school shifts. This time it was lined with desperation. I walked right past him. "Bonita," he snapped, stepping forward. "You seriously think this is over?" I didn't stop, but I didn't walk away either. I just turned and looked him dead in the eye. "It is for me," he scoffed. "We raised you. You act like we were strangers. You raised Rob. You tolerated me." "That house was going to be yours," he said, voice low, like that was supposed to mean something now. "No, that house was a problem you tried to dump on me, after excluding me, after trying to rob me, after pretending I didn't exist unless you needed a payment." He shook his head. "We gave you everything we had." I looked him over. "Then maybe you should have kept some of it, because you're empty now." He clenched his jaw, tried to say something else, but nothing came out. Just stood there, looking smaller than I'd ever seen him. I left him standing there, silent and out of options. By the weekend, I was moving into a better apartment. Quiet place, clean parking lot, no porch full of unpaid bills, no mailboxes stacked with eviction notices. Just me and a set of keys I paid for, fully mine. I didn't tell anyone. Didn't answer when Mom called again from a blocked number. Didn't reply when Rob posted another sad rant online about how fake people abandon blood. Let them spiral. They built that house out of entitlement, delusion, and my bank account. When they burned it down, they thought I'd be stupid enough to rush back in with a fire hose. Nah. I watched it crumble from a distance, and I stayed warm.